Possibly the most viewed video in the history of the world is Donald Trump surviving an assassination attempt. Billions of people watched Trump raise his fist and say, fight, 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 with blood streaming down his face. But I would argue that the more chilling and creepy footage of that day is right here, with Thomas Crooks actually stalking his would-be victim from the rooftop, gun in hand, filmed from like an iPhone 3, really grainy footage, but that's how obvious it was. This isn't even a high-quality camera. This is how obvious Thomas Crooks's movements were that day. You can see the Secret Service with their eyes pointed directly at the roof line right there, and they turn away. This agent right there in the bottom corner turns his back on Thomas Crook walking along the roof. There were supposed to be cops up there. They were pulled off the rooftop right beforehand. People were standing, shouting, screaming, "There's a guy on the roof." Nobody did anything. There's a full sniper team on all of the corresponding rooftops, and none of them took a shot. Nobody even stopped this guy who was caught with a rangefinder. They kicked him out of the actual rally. He was flying a drone, and nobody apprehended him. Nobody even questioned him. It makes everybody stop and ask quite a few questions like, was he working with law enforcement? We know that he trained at a shooting range that was used by DHS. We know that people like Lee Harvey Oswald have been bumped by the CIA. Now that's a verified fact. It's like a verified matter of fact that the CIA was running Lee Harvey Oswald. And that these are the kind of locations and situations and people, these are the marks that our intel agencies look for. Young, degenerate loners, good with a gun, good marksman, hit Trump in the head, saved by the hand of God. Well, Judicial Watch has a bombshell new FOIA record from the FBI that says that Thomas Crooks was emailing with the sheriff's deputy before the Butler assassination attempt. Judicial Watch announced that it has forced the release of 48 heavily redacted pages of the FBI's investigation through the Freedom of Information Act lawsuit, revealing that a Butler County sheriff deputy exchanged emails with Trump assassin Thomas Crooks prior to the shooting in Butler, Pennsylvania. The records also indicate that a special weapons tactical team SWAT officer recovered a gray remote device with an antenna from Crooks's pocket. A gray remote device? I mean, I guess that could potentially be the drone remote. He was flying a drone. What else could it be? Thomas Crooks was on the phone. There's photos of him on the phone, calling somebody, talking with someone. Who is he talking with? The records also show the medic, Beaver County Emergency Services, told the FBI that she was on the roof of the American Glass Research building, examining Crooks's body, when she was informed that a police canine had a hit on the building, and she was told to evacuate the roof where Crooks's body remained. So wait a second, she was doing a examination of his body, and that she was called off. I mean, to this day, we don't have any autopsy of the guy's body. They cremated him within minutes of him had his head blown off, because that's what ended up happening after he got off 8 shots. Murdered Corey Comperentor, shot 3 other people in the audience, hit the president in the head, and then they finally headshotted him. And we still have zero autopsy. They released his body and cremated it instantaneously. It's very strange. It's very strange. I don't care who you are. It's very odd. The FOIA is in response to a lawsuit. Well done, Judicial Watch. Way to go. I don't understand why the FBI has been so cagey about this. I've asked, and I've heard from top sources there, very top sources there, that President Trump, that there's a lot more to the story, and that President Trump himself has said, I don't want it out. How damaging is it? Are there foreign nations involved? Are there certain intel agencies involved? Is Donald Trump just trying to survive his next couple of years? I don't know. I do know that the FBI has lied about this. The FBI has never said Thomas Crooks had no online footprint ever. Tucker Carlson had a exclusive where they were able to dig up some of his old YouTube comments. And what it showed is that he was being harshly radicalized against Trump. Yes, he was a Trump supporter in 2016, and then he was harshly radicalized and calling for violence against Trump and his administration by the end of his term. The FBI Deputy Director Paul Abadi disclosed a social media account believed to be associated with the shooter. Abadi went on to describe a general absence of other information from social media. That's not true. That's, of course, a verified lie. So why was he emailing with the sheriff's deputy? Well, we don't know. They're redacted. Here's the actual FOIA, and you can see what the emails end up looking like. You can see that there's just huge missing gaps in the emails. So why would the sheriff's 5 deputies at Butler County Sheriff's Office, why would the sheriffs be emailing Thomas Crooks? This has caused everybody to sit there and here's a good example. This is it. This is like a perfect example. Why redact so much? He's dead. Why are you protecting a dead person? What gray remote device? I mean, I guess it could have been the drone device, but we haven't seen the murder weapon. We haven't seen anything that was found. We don't have the contents of his phone or his laptop. We know nothing. Judicial Watch, heavily redacted documents on Thomas Crooks. SWAT found gray remote. The device had numerous buttons. It was in his right pocket. What was it? It shows that the person trying to do the autopsy was called off. But what was he saying to the sheriff? We don't know. Breaking: Butler Sheriff sent 2 emails to Thomas Crooks before assassination attempt. What is this? The medic was called off the roof. We still don't have an autopsy. Bombshell, people are calling it. The nature of the email is redacted. We know that the sheriff's deputies have blamed the Secret Service. A face-to-face. These are the people who work for the sheriff's office, and they said the Secret Service refused to tell us anything.
Briefing with the Secret Service snipers whenever they arrived, and that never happened. So I think that was probably a pivotal point where I started thinking things were wrong, because that never happened, and we had no communication with the Secret Service.
You had no communication with the Secret Service at all on that Saturday?
Not until after the shooting.
And by then?
It was too late.
So these are the guys that are there to watch the roof. Secret Service didn't do anything. They didn't communicate with them. Just a reminder that the people who tracked Thomas Crooks' cell phone found that he traveled to D.C. regularly. He was within the vicinity of the FBI multiple times. Trained at the same gun range as DHS. Now he's emailing the sheriff. And this one's just an absolute straight banger. There's literally nothing weird about Thomas Crooks emailing the deputy in Butler, Pennsylvania before the assassination attempt. It's not weird that he practiced shooting at the same range as Homeland Security. It's not weird that local police and Secret Service spotted Crooks with a rangefinder, photographed him, and texted about him an hour, and they still let him climb on the roof with a rifle. It's not weird that Secret Service wasn't flying drones that day, but Crooks was. It's not weird that Butler was the first Trump rally of the year with Secret Service anti-sniper agents on the roofs. It's not weird that Crooks' house looked like a sterile lab with no trash or silverware. And it's not weird that the body was cremated 10 days later before Congress could see it or inspect it, or an independent autopsy was performed. This is why people say the CIA was shadowing Oswald before he alone shot JFK, right? Yeah. They had 2 email communications from Crooks. They did not exchange emails with him. So people are parsing this document up, and now it's very strange because the FBI has come in over the top and said facts over clickbait. Okay, what is the clickbait? There's a clickbait lie. It has nothing to do. It's fake news. The unredacted documents are interviews of Thomas Crooks by college instructors, not cops. The instructors reference having emailed Thomas Crooks about coursework. They make no reference to contact between Crooks and the police. Spend more time. You wouldn't be a laughingstock. Okay, maybe it is. Right, well, again, maybe it is. The FBI said this was something about Thomas Crooks' school and not the sheriff. But wait a second. If that's the case, then why is it so redacted? You can see how mistakes could be made if this is the document that you're getting. And that's why that's why this is happening. That's why a mistake like this could happen. And also, this is a matter of provable fact that the FBI lied under oath about the contents of Thomas Crooks' social media, which were overtly political and violent in the extreme. And they never, ever tipped their hand to that at all. It would have made a lot more sense, and it would have given a lot more sympathy to Donald Trump. They were doing this to hurt Trump. It would have given a lot more sympathy to Trump if this guy was proven out to be a far left-winger. He did donate to Joe Biden, but they tried to cast him as MAGA. I don't know, man. I just know this, that I am not satisfied with the information that we have on this. And I wish that we could get more. And I'm sure you agree. Let me know in the comment section. It's your boy Benny.